Okay, so we're going to start in constructive relaxation. So staying lying on your backs, knees up towards the sky. Your feet should be almost the distance of the width of your mat. So knees out, feet out wide, and knock your knees in together. And take your arms and just cross them over your chest, so they can be sort of higher up towards your collarbones or lower down towards your chest. Let your hands just hang alongside your body. Your feet your toes can be facing towards the midline of your mat and your heels facing outwards. And just close your eyes. And just notice the space between your chin and your breastbone. Make sure there's about a fist distance apart. And start to draw your awareness to your spine. So making sure each vertebra is along the mat. So if you need to wriggle around, lifting the shoulder blades up so that your whole spine is long against the floor. Stretch your neck out long, making space in your body. And if you can, slightly tilt your tailbone up towards the sky, so just up a little bit, which helps to draw your navel in towards the back of the spine. And start to draw your awareness to your breath. Start to deepen your breath, taking deep inhalations and deep exhalations. And in this pose, we call it constructive relaxation. It just helps to bring stillness to the body and stillness to the mind. And it really helps with stress and anxiety, and almost feels like you are comforting yourself in a way that's relaxing and that's not stressful in any way on the body. And keep drawing your awareness to your breath. And just notice at any point in this practice, when you feel like your mind is wandering from the day that's passed or the night ahead of you, just know that you can come back to your breath, drawing your awareness to where you are on your mat, and drawing your awareness to your body, and feeling out where you have any aches or pains. And just lying in this position, can you start to scan your body, feeling out wherever you feel like there's tension. And stay here for 3 more deep breaths. And when you finish your rounds of breathing, take your arms out alongside your body, so they should be at shoulder height alongside you, palms facing down, and just start to window wipe your knees from one side to the other side, like they're windscreen wipers. Just loosening up the sacrum area. try to keep your eyes closed in these poses whilst lying on your back. It really helps to draw your awareness to your body and what you're feeling at the moment. And just complete doing one more to each side. And when you've finished, bring your knees back up to center. Bring your feet hip width apart and measure out the distance. We're going to move into bridge pose. So your distance should be, you should be able to touch your heels with your fingertips. So making sure your feet are firmly rooted on the ground and hip width apart. Place your hands down alongside your body, palms facing down. And on your inhale, start to lift your tailbone up towards the sky, vertebra by vertebra. And come up all the way to the top of your upper back. And just feel out this pose here. You should feel relatively relaxed in your core, but noticing that your hip flexors are turning on, your glutes are turning on. If you'd like to, you can take an interlace behind your spine. So taking the hands just below your buttocks area, and if you want to, you can try to curl the shoulders even more behind your back. And on your inhale, can you lift your hips even higher to the sky? And stay here for one more deep breath, making sure there's a fist distance between your chin and your sternum. And on your next inhale, bring your left leg to the midline of your mat and lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. So staying in this position, it's relatively strong in your body. See if you can lift your hips even higher, taking a flex in that top foot. And staying here for one more inhale. And on your exhale, place the right ankle on the top of your left knee. If this is taking a bit of strain on your back, just lower your hips back down to the ground. If you can, stay up for a moment and try to see if you can draw your right knee out towards the side even more, making sure that right foot is flexed and active. And draw your awareness to your left foot. Is it firmly rooted into the ground? And inhale, can you lift your hips even higher, making sure both hips are level. And on your exhale, keeping your foot in the same position, just lower back down all the way to the ground, vertebra by vertebra. And on your next inhale, we take our hands through the hole of your right knee and clasp on the back of the left hamstring. So it's using your right elbow to push your right knee away and your clasped hands behind your hamstring to draw your left leg towards your body. Make sure both feet are flexed and nice and active in your figure 4 shape. So you should feel a really nice opening all down the hip line, in your hamstring. And making sure the tailbone is firmly rooted on the ground, and try to see if you can draw your shoulders away from your ears. So your head should be on the mat and relaxed. And take a deep inhale, and on your exhale, can you bring that left leg even closer towards the body whilst pushing that right knee further away. And on your next inhale, release your right foot and take it back down to the mat. And grab hold of the right foot, so bringing it up towards the sky, taking hold of the right foot on the outside of the sole of the right foot and kick that right foot up towards the ceiling. So you can keep in your position on your left leg, so your knee bent up towards the ceiling. And we're just moving into a half happy baby. So drawing that right foot down whilst kicking that right foot up towards the ceiling. Taking a nice generous bend to that right leg. And if you're taking strain, you can hold on to the back of the right hamstring. And see if you can try to draw that right knee all the way into the upper part of your shoulders. And draw your awareness to your left knee. Make sure it's not flaring out to the side. It's still active. Left foot firmly rooted in the ground. And stay here for 2 more deep breaths, seeing if you can bring that knee even closer towards your chest and really starting to stimulate your ascending colon and drawing some blood flow into your hip flexor. One more inhale, and on your exhale, release the right foot back down. And just bring your awareness to your alignment again before we move into a bridge pose. So fingertips touch the back of your heels, making sure there's a good distance between your heels and your buttocks. Making sure both feet are firmly rooted into the ground. Your hands are alongside your body. Relax your shoulders and broaden your collarbones. On your next inhale, start to lift the hips up towards the sky, curling your tailbone and coming up as high as you comfortably can, making sure there's a nice distance between your chin, not creating any more anxiety in your body. If you'd like to, you can take an interlace in the hands below the back and taking the opposite interlace, so making sure the opposite thumb is on top. And draw your awareness to your knees. Are they still hip width apart? And on your inhale, can you lift your hips even higher towards the ceiling? Staying here for 2 more deep breaths. Really making the belly expand on the inhale and drawing it back towards the midline on the exhale. And draw the right foot towards the midline of your mat. Lift your left leg up towards the ceiling. Flex the foot. Now see if you can lift that right hip up even higher towards the ceiling, making sure both hips are level here. So really starting to activate the glutes. And stay here for 1 more inhale. Can you lift both hips higher towards the ceiling? And on your exhale, draw the left ankle on top of the right knee. And see if you can draw that left knee out towards the side, lifting up that left hip, making sure both hips are level towards the ceiling. And draw your awareness to your foot, that right foot as well as the left foot, making sure both are active. All 4 corners of the sole of the right foot are firmly rooted in the ground. Stay here for 1 more inhale. Can you lift even higher? And on your exhale, slowly lower your hips all the way back down to the ground, keeping your left ankle on the right knee. And we're moving into our figure 4 on the ground, so grabbing hold of the right thigh behind the hamstring and taking your left elbow and using it to push that left knee away from you, making sure both feet are flexed and active. And see if you can draw your shoulders down onto the ground. And on every exhale, can you draw that right leg even closer towards the body? Staying here for 2 more breaths. And all of these poses are active yet passive, so not creating stress in the body. Take 1 more inhale, and on your exhale, release that right foot down, moving into your half happy baby on your left hand side, so making sure the right leg is rooted into the ground, grabbing hold of the outside of the sole of the left foot. Drawing that left knee in towards the left shoulder blade. So really feeling a nice compression on the left side of your midline. And try to kick into the hand, so active foot, really drawing down on the foot whilst kicking away, so creating some static movement in the body. Making sure that right leg is not flaring out to the side, is still active. You can place your right hand on your right hip just to make sure that both hips are firmly rooted and level on the ground. And stay for 1 more inhale. And on your exhale, release the foot back down. Moving into Baddha Konasana feet, so soles of the feet together, knees knock out towards the side. And if your knees are very high up off the ground, just move the soles of the feet away. So feel out what's more comfortable to you. And starting to notice the opening in the groin area here. You can even use your hands and just use them to make space and push the top of the thighs away from you. Opening up the spine, the sacrum area. And staying in this position, push the soles of the feet together. So starting to activate the feet, activating the inner thighs, drawing the knees out towards the sides if you can, even more. And just allowing gravity to pull the knees closer towards the ground here. Opening up the hips naturally. And on your next exhale, using your hands on the outsides of the hips, just bringing your knees back together. Taking hold of the right shin, clasp your hands on top of the right shin, holding it here for a moment. And if you'd like to elongate the left leg out long on the mat in front of you. On your next exhale, can you draw that right knee even closer towards the right shoulder? And on your next inhale, start to kick that shin away from your body. So kicking that shin away, which is allowing your upper back to roll up off the floor. So really nice opening in the shoulder blades of your upper back. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Draw your navel down in towards the back of the spine. Making sure both feet are active so that left foot is firmly rooted into the ground. Inhale, and on your exhale, slowly roll back down. We move with that flow. Inhale, start to kick the leg away from you. Hold it there for a moment. And exhale, roll back down. 2 more like that. Inhale, kicking the shin away. Really flexing that left foot. Drawing your navel in and exhale, back down. Inhale, kicking that leg away. And exhale, back down. One more, inhale, kicking that leg away, and exhale, release. Swap sides, kicking out the right leg, grabbing hold of the left shin. Change the interlace of the fingers so your non-habitual grip on top of that left shin, making sure that right heel is firmly rooted on the ground. And on your next exhale, can you draw that left knee even closer towards the left shoulder? Closing your eyes, feeling out this pose. And on your next inhale, start to kick that left shin away from your body, rolling up off your mat, your upper back, drawing your shoulders away from your ears, really feeling this nice stretch in your shoulders if you've been at a computer all day. And exhale, roll all the way back down. We move with that flow. Inhale, lift, kicking that leg away, making sure that right leg is nice and firm on the ground. And exhale, roll back down. And keep going like that. Moving with your breath, drawing your navel back towards your spine on the inhale. Exhale, drawing that knee towards your shoulder. Two more like that. And exhale, release. Grabbing hold of both shins. Just rock from side to side for a moment. Taking your feet and your knees at a 90-degree angle. So don't worry, the class will not be completely on your back. So making sure your knees are directly above your hip line and making sure there's a bit of a flex to the feet. Take your arms out alongside you, palms facing down. Move into a little bit of a core activation here. So on your exhale, we move the knees and feet over towards the right side without allowing them to touch the ground, making sure both shoulder blades are staying firmly rooted on the ground. And on your inhale, legs come back to rise, knees and feet stay together, and on your exhale, we roll over to the left-hand side. Inhale, back up to center, and exhale over to the other side. Inhale, back to center, and exhale over to the other side. Really trying to bring awareness to that core, making sure it's drawing back towards the spine and activated so that you are not taking any strain in your lower back. This is a really nice way to open up the lower back area, twisting out and detoxing the body. Making sure your feet are together, your feet are flexed and active. Keep going, moving with breath. Inhale on your way back to center and exhale on the way over to the side. Inhale back up and exhale down. Just do one more to each side. And last side. And come back to center. stretch the legs up towards the sky, so making sure there's a perpendicular line from the legs all the way to the body, flexing your feet, and just taking your arms up towards the sky and making circles with the wrists, so moving the ankles out and the wrists out, moving in one direction. Just opening up the wrist joints and the ankles, creating some mobility in those joints that often can get so stiff. And change direction. And exhale, release, draw your knees towards your chest. And on your inhale, roll up to a seated position. Rock over your knees, move into your child's pose. So taking your knees out wide, toes together, arms out long in front of you. Relax your forehead down to the mat. If your forehead can't touch the mat, just grab hold of your cushion and place it on below your forehead, so you're not creating any more stress in your body. Staying here for 3 deep breaths, and just know you can always come back to this pose if you are feeling a little bit overwhelmed in any of the poses. Really try to make sure there's a really nice long line from the crown of your head all the way down to your tailbone. Really trying to draw that tailbone down towards your heels. So really opening up the hips. On your next inhale, we move up into downward facing dog. So staying in this alignment, keeping your hands where they are, curl the toes under and lift the hips up towards the sky. So from that position, your feet should be the right distance away from your hands. And just draw your awareness to your hands, making sure the hands are shoulder width apart. Relax and roll the shoulders away from the ears, so towards the upper part of your back. Relax your head. And you can pedal out your feet, bending one knee and bending the other, making sure your feet are parallel to the long side of your mat. And taking a really nice bend in both knees, drawing them down towards the mat. Can you see if you can elongate the back even more, broadening the back line of your body? And on your inhale, can you stretch out those legs and draw your tailbone even higher towards the sky? Staying here for one more deep breath. And exhale. Draw your left foot to the midline of your mat. Lift your right leg up towards the sky in your 3-legged dog. Roll that right hip down. So we're not opening up the hip just yet, making sure both hips are alongside one another, flexing that top foot, holding it there for one more deep breath. And on your exhale, draw your knee to nose, hold it there for a moment, draw your navel in towards your spine, and exhale, we move back into 3-legged dog, holding it there. And on your exhale, draw your knee to your nose, hover it for a moment, and draw that right foot to the top of your mat, lower down onto your left knee, keeping your back toes curled under. Just hold it there for a moment in your low lunge. So drawing your awareness to your hips, rolling your right hip back, your left hip forward, starting to draw your tailbone down towards the ground, lengthen through the spine, broaden your collarbones. Staying here for one more breath. And exhale. And on your next inhale, lift the back knee off the ground. We move into a bit of a cat-cow position in a lunge, a high lunge. So making sure your hands staying nice and stable on the ground, framing your front foot. Inhale, lift the chin and slightly bring a bend to your back, broaden your collarbones. And on your exhale, straighten that front leg into a variation of your pyramid pose, rounding your spine and your cat pose. And inhale, bending that front leg, lifting your chin, broadening your collarbones, feeling that really nice elongation on your left hip flexor. And exhale, move into your pyramid, rounding your upper spine. And exhale, flexing one more time. And exhale, stretching and rounding that spine. Inhale, coming back, making sure the right knee is directly above your right ankle. Take your left hand down to the midline of your mat. Move into an easy side twist. So right hand up towards the sky. There should be a nice long line from the right fingertips all the way down to the left hand. We move into some mobility of the shoulder, doing some nice circles with the hand, drawing big circles in one direction. And change direction, moving the hand forward. And bringing the hand back down to the mat. Step your front foot towards the back foot into your plank pose. So holding it there for a moment, making sure your hands are directly below your shoulder blades. Curl the tailbone down. Hold it here for 2 more breaths. If you're taking strain, drop to your knees. We move through chaturanga, so coming down onto your knees if you need to, rocking slightly forward, drawing that tailbone down, bending your elbows and brushing them alongside your outer ribs. Inhale, untuck the toes into your cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, move through child's pose into your downward facing dog. Staying here for 2 breaths. Feeling out your body. Drawing your right foot to the midline of your mat. Lift your left leg up into your 3-legged dog. Flexing that left foot. Drawing your shoulders away from your ears. And there should be a really nice long line all the way from your left heel to the crown of your head. And that right heel can be lifted off the floor. That's okay. Draw that left hip down. And on your next inhale, draw your knee to your nose. And exhale, kick the left leg up back towards the sky. Inhale, draw your knee to your nose, hover it there for a moment. And exhale, drop that left foot to the top of your mat. Drop your right knee down onto the mat, keeping your right toes curled under. Drawing your awareness to your alignment for a moment. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Roll your right hip forward, left hip back. And try to curl your tailbone down. Drawing your navel in. And we move into a cat-cow variation, so lifting that back leg, knee off the ground. Inhale, lift your chin, drawing a slight bend to the back body. And on your exhale, straighten that front leg, rounding your upper spine on your exhale. Inhale, move back. And exhale, round the spine, straighten that front leg. Inhale and exhale, straighten. Inhale and exhale. And inhale, coming forward, bending that front leg, taking the right hand down towards the midline of your mat. Lift your left arm out, along towards the ceiling, making sure there's a nice long line from the right wrist all the way to the left fingertips. Moving into your shoulder mobilization, so really nice big circles with your hand, drawing your tailbone down, drawing your navel in. Try to keep as much weight off that right hand if you can. So powering up the legs, changing direction of your arm. And drop the left hand down towards the mat, moving back into your plank pose, holding it here for a moment. We move into our side plank, so dropping the hips down, shifting your weight into your left hand. We shift our heels over to the left hand side, and if you need to take a variation, you can drop that left leg, knee down towards the ground. Holding it here, lift your right arm up towards the sky. See if you can lift those right hips up even higher towards the ceiling. Really activating the left side of your body. And exhale, bring that right hand back down, shifting over to the other side. So right hand slightly out, draw that left arm out. If you need to take a variation, drop your right knee down towards the ground like showing, and lift the right arm up. See if you can draw those left hips even higher towards the ceiling. Try to make sure there's a really nice long line all alongside that right side body. And on your exhale, bring your left hand down. Drop your knees to the ground, moving through chaturanga, drawing your tailbone down, rocking slightly forward, bending at your elbows, brushing them alongside your body. Come all the way down onto your belly. Untuck your toes, making sure your hands are directly below your shoulder blades. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale through your child's pose, back to downward facing dog. And walking your feet slightly closer towards the center of your mat. So your heels should comfortably be touching the floor in this pose here. Shift your weight to your left hand and draw your right hand to the outside of your left ankle, using this as a nice side opening. And try to draw your right ribs towards the outside of the left thigh. See if you can draw your tailbone up towards the sky and taking a bend in that right knee. So feeling out here how that even opens up the calf, the ITB in your left leg. Stay for one more inhale, and exhale, can you draw your body up towards the leg even closer. Swapping sides, placing that right hand down, left hand to the outside of the right ankle, making sure your feet are about hip width apart. And taking a nice generous to that bend to the left leg. Making sure your hips are not shifting towards the right hand side, so making sure they're centered towards the midline. Stay for one more inhale. And on your exhale, can you draw your upper body closer towards your leg? And inhale, drop the left hand back to the front of your mat. And on your inhale, slowly walk the feet to the top of your mat, to your forward fold. Hold here for a moment, grabbing hold of opposite elbows with opposite hands, so folding forward, and just relaxing out here in your position, in your forward fold for a moment. Drawing your awareness to your feet, making sure your weight is in the heels, but also drawing towards the balls, the soles of the feet. And you can rock from side to side, using the weight of your arms to really draw the body down towards the feet. And on your next inhale, bring the feet together, taking a nice generous bend to the knees. Inhale, slowly roll all the way up to standing. Exhale, loop the shoulders and relax back down. Coming to the middle of your mat, so I'm going to face you guys. Bringing your hands together, you can jump out to as wide as your feet can go, taking your arms out along, making sure that your feet are directly below your wrists. And now curl your toes towards the midline of your mat and your heels out. So notice the activation and the change in the direction of the hip joint. And on your exhale, slowly bend forward into your wide-legged forward fold, holding it here. You can grab hold of the outside of the ankles. You can take hold of a clasp of the hands behind the sacrum, lifting the hands away from you. Try to draw the crown of the head all the way down towards the ground. And shake your head out, yes, and shake it no. And if your hands are clasped behind your back, can you try to draw your fingers even higher up towards the sky, relaxing your shoulders away from your ears. Try to see if you can draw the weight into the balls of the feet. Staying here for one more deep inhale. And exhale, let your hands go, bringing them down below your head. And on your next inhale, take your toes out, heels in, and take a nice generous bend to the knees. We come up into our horse pose. So dropping your tailbone as low as you can, bringing your hands to your heart space. Thumbs to your sternum, elbows out towards the side, and see if you can lift your toes off the ground. So making sure the soles of the feet are firm on the ground and lower your toes back down. See if you can drop your hips even more. Staying for one more deep breath. And exhale, release. Take your hands to the insides of your thighs, stretching forward with your back. Drop your left shoulder towards the midline of your back, using your left wrist to push that left leg away, and stretching out and opening up to the right side of the body. Staying here for one more deep breath. And exhale, release. Come back to center. Move to the other side. Dropping your right shoulder down towards the midline, using that right arm to push that left knee away, opening up the hips. And on your inhale, coming back to center, moving into your 5-pointed star, so arms up towards the sky, Turn your right toes or your front toes to left toes to the front of your mat, bringing your back foot at a 45-degree angle, so toes in, heel out, and bending into your warrior two position. So hands along at shoulder height, taking a really nice generous bend to that front leg at a 90-degree angle, making sure the front knee is directly above the front ankle. You really want to try and open up your hips to the right hand side of the room. Holding it there for one more deep breath. And on your inhale, lift your left arm up and just reverse your warrior for a moment, feeling a really nice opening down the left side of the body. And exhale back to center, moving through your star and over to the other side. So back toes facing the front or the back of your mat and bringing the back foot at a 45-degree angle and bending that front knee a lot. See if you can open up the hips even wider. Holding it here, power through the hands. Really nice long line all the way from the front fingertips to the back fingertips. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Tuck your tailbone down. See if you can bend even deeper into that front leg. And inhale the right arm up and over. And exhale, release. Moving your hands back and just wiggle your feet back to the middle of your mat. Come to the top of your mat. Take your feet wider than hip width apart, heels in, toes out, and moving into your goddess squat. So meeting yourself where you're at. If you need to come a little bit higher or off your heels, that's okay. Otherwise, try to draw your tailbone even closer towards the ground. You really want a nice long line all the way from your tailbone to the crown of your head. And just start to relax in this pose for a moment. And on your next inhale, taking your hands down to the top of your mat, just step back into your downward facing dog. Stay here for one more deep inhale. And exhale. Lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. And on your exhale, draw the right knee towards the right wrist, coming into your pigeon pose. So right ankle to the outside of your left wrist. So you want to try and aim to get your right shin parallel to the top front of your mat. If it's not, that's okay. Just draw that heel in close towards your body. If you've got your cushion close by, tuck it under the right hip bone so that your hips are nice and level. If you'd like to, you can try to draw that back leg even further behind you, making sure that back leg is straight and it's not flaring out towards the side. Coming up onto your fingertips, lengthen the spine. And on your exhale, fold forward over that front leg. So you should feel a pinch in your hip bone, and you shouldn't really feel uncomfortable in that front knee. If you are, try to draw away your hips away from the front of that front shin, and drawing that right toe closer towards your hips if you are taking strain in the foot or the knee. And on your exhale, can you soften into the pose? Close your eyes and feel out where you feel stiff. Staying here for 3 more deep breaths, drawing your awareness to your breath. next inhale, come back onto your fingertips. So rolling the upper body back up, and we're going to roll over that right buttocks and draw that back leg up and over your right leg, moving into our spinal twist. So if this is a little bit uncomfortable, you can keep that right leg out in front of you, otherwise bringing that left foot to the outside of your right thigh, taking your left hand behind your sacrum. Inhale, lift your right arm up towards the sky, and exhale, draw the right elbow to the outside of your left leg, and really stretching out the spine here. You want to almost feel like you're leaning back against a wall, so you can open up and broaden the collarbones. And see if you can lengthen on the inhale and twist even deeper on the exhale. Closing your eyes if you can, drawing into self. Staying for one more inhale and one more exhale. And on your inhale, draw your head back towards the midline, drawing out of your twist, and just counter twist over to the other side. So taking your fingertips to the right hand side, twisting out the spine. And coming back to center, rolling over the knees and just stepping back into your downward facing dog. Staying here for one more deep breath. One more deep breath out. Inhale, lift your left leg up towards the sky and moving into your pigeon pose with the left leg drawing that left knee to the outside of the left wrist and left ankle on the outside of your right wrist. And draw that back leg even further away from you. If you need to, move your cushion to the outside of the left buttocks. And inhale, lift up out of your waist, lengthen the spine, and exhale, fold over that front leg. And giving yourself this time that you've dedicated to your body and just relaxing here in this pose. Even though you can feel some tension in your body, try to ease into that stiffness and see if you can stretch it out even further on your exhale. Staying for one more deep breath, drawing your awareness back to your mat. And on your exhale, come back up onto your fingertips, just rolling over onto the left buttocks, drawing that back leg up and over, so your right leg up and over, so your left leg is on the floor, your left foot is towards your right buttocks. Take your right hand behind you, lift your left arm up towards the sky, and exhale, twist it out. Making sure that elbow is on the outside of your right knee, twisting into this pose. Opening up your collarbones. Can you lift up towards the sky, lengthening your spine, not collapsing down. See if you can lean back against the wall. Exhale, twist even deeper. On your next inhale, draw your gaze back to the center and come back into your downward facing dog. Counter pose to the other side. Draw your hands back to the front of your mat and just step back into your downward facing dog. Stay here for one more full deep breath. And exhale. Draw your knees down towards your mat and come onto your buttocks. Taking a nice bend to the knees, so feet hip width distance apart, lengthen your spine. Take your arms out alongside your body, and on your exhale, slowly roll the spine all the way down to the mat. And draw your arms out along above your head, legs out long. And on your next inhale, can you lift your arms up towards the sky? Lift your legs for 3 breaths. If you can, hold it there. And exhale, release. Take your arms down, back towards the buttocks. And moving into your Shavasana pose, so taking your feet out wide, making loads of space for your body. Take your arms out, palms facing up towards the sky. Wriggle out your body, feeling out wherever you are uncomfortable. Broaden your collarbones, making sure there's a nice long line all the way from the crown of your head to your tailbone. If you feel like your lower back is lifting off the ground, grab your cushions and place them underneath the knees. It's really nice just to ease the back here. And start to feel the weight of your own body drawing back into the ground, so feeling heavy on the ground. And draw your awareness to the tip of your toes. Are they relaxed? Knees are soft. Hips are even. Your belly should be rising and falling. Shoulders heavy on the mat. Chin facing up towards the ceiling. Making sure your eyes are heavy in their sockets. Mouth is relaxed, jaw is relaxed. Drawing the tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Opening up the throat. And completely softening into your pose. And allowing your body to fully soften into this Shavasana pose. Sometimes the hardest pose can be the ones where you're doing nothing, but just relaxing and softening. And allowing the tingling sensation to flow through your body, feeling the practice assimilate into your body. And keeping your eyes closed, start to wriggle your fingertips and wriggle your toes, taking your time. Start to deepen the breath, noticing the belly rise and belly fall. And on your next inhale, take the arms up above the head, stretch the toes out long, yawning the body open. And on your exhale, roll over, bending the knees and roll over onto your right hand side, using your right arm as a cushion. And when you're ready, coming back into your seated position. Drawing your hands to your heart space. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. I hope you have a beautiful evening ahead and your body is feeling more open and relaxed. Namaste. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, baby. Lovely. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thanks, Pebbley.